Hello, YouTube, and this is going to be a video on, I don't know, um, I am National Communism 666, and I am on drugs. Also check me out, but please feel free to check me out on Twitter. My Twitter tag is Humanist Philosophies. Actually, fun story. I was originally going to be drunken, alcoholic, antisocial, quasi-communist, loosely knitted white pride, and also kind of anti-white devil man, but that was too much to put into one name, so I just said humanist. Close enough. Anyways, yeah, I know my life is an abomination. I'm going nowhere. I'm a complete ass, and you all hate my guts. Anyways, let's get on with this fucking abortion. Speaking of abortion, it's very important that we defend a woman's right to abortion, because no matter what it is you think you believe, you really need to defend abortion. And it's also important that you defend it prior to 4 months, or at least prior to 6 months. And that is kind of the break off point, is 4 to 6 months. And the reason I say that is this. First of all, whether you're against genital mutilation of baby boys that happens in this country, or girls even, or ear piercing, or anything that has to do with children, whether you think gays should get married, whether you think you should have a right to live, really, all of that depends on a woman's right not to have a thing grow inside of her and then crawl its way out of her fucking body, basically ripping itself out of her. A woman should have a right not to have that happen to her, and I think that is very important. All of your rights really are dependent upon and come from that. So, because if you don't have that basic right, then what rights do you have? I mean, it's a pretty simple right. But on the flip side of that, and to go a little bit of a right ring position or situation here, on that same token, you have to acknowledge at some point the baby does become a human. So if humans, or basically, and that's not just to say humans, I think we should extend those same rights largely to animals, but let's say human for the sake of argument, just to simplify shit, streamline the shit, so to speak. And no, I don't exactly know the meaning of the word streamline because I'm an idiot. Steamline, whatever I'm saying, because I'm an idiot. But if after 4 to 6 months, that is when the researchers, people involved, begin to believe that a baby becomes a human being somewhere between 4 to 6 months in the pregnancy, somewhere in that what's the word, trimester, I guess, of the pregnancy, the baby is no longer a fetus or an embryo, it becomes a human being. All of your rights are also dependent now on defending that child's right to exist. And that might be just as important, if not even more important, than defending a woman's right to choose. Both are very important. You have to defend the child's right to life at the 4 to 6 month mark, and you also have to defend the woman's right to choose whether or not to have a baby before that. So, in other words, if a woman 1 to 2 months into a pregnancy can't decide whether or not she wants to have a baby, then you have no right. But at the same time, if she can kill a baby when it's maybe not that long due and it's about to be born, and she can still do that, then you have no rights. All of your rights are dependent upon that child's right to exist, and the woman's right to not have that child if she does it before it becomes a child. So it's a combination or a crossroads somewhere in between that, if that makes sense. And I got way too off into that, but that's one thing we all have to agree on. The other thing is gay marriage. Obviously, a person should have a right to marry whoever they want, and that should be their right. And you should have a right to adopt children, especially all these children. The Christians don't want to abort. You have to remember that. And all of the children that I just said myself, I don't want to abort, or I don't think should be aborted, because they're past the stage where you can abort a child. So I don't think 4 to 6 month old should be able to be aborted. So that's just common sense. So someone has to adopt all these freaking children that you people keep having like rabbits because you're insane. And gay people are a very good category of people to do that. So obviously they have a right to adopt. Also artificially inseminate a woman if they want. Shoot who? Like what kind of comment is that? I don't even know what you're talking about. What do you mean shoot who? Shoot hoops? I don't know. It's kind of off the cuff remark. Listen, hoops is like basketball. Never mind. Look, the point is, you should have a right to marijuana, legal marijuana. That's put a lot of black people in jail. And I don't even know who the hell, other than rich people, no one even opposes marijuana. Who are you talking about? You're not even telling me who. The fuck am I supposed to answer this? But again, I wasn't trying to be rude, but I mean, what kind of fucking comment is that? But look, anyways, you should have a right to legal marijuana. I don't even think most evangelical Christians are that opposed to marijuana. I mean, I'm sure they are, but not that much so. I mean, like even like middle of the road, middle America. I'm born and raised in Indiana, and I work at the fucking tax code, Costco, whatever. Even those people are like, yeah, I think you should be able to smoke weed. We all smoke weed. Obviously, broke people, such as myself, and when they broke, I mean literally, physically, mentally. Hey there. I mean, literally, physically, mentally broken, spiritually broken people. But no, broke people either way, poor, whatever you mean, whatever I mean. Yeah, it's something we think should be legal. It has put a lot of poor black people in prison, specifically and particularly, but a lot of other people too. And marijuana should be legal. Transgender rights should be legal. I have went into my long list of reasons I believe and firmly and strongly believe in almost all transgender rights, because I do. And if you think about it, and I know a lot of transgender people don't want to hear this, the truth is it's also kind of attacking biological males, because technically they are biological males. So when you tell a transgender woman she's not a woman and you can't use the bathroom you own, and you have to use a bathroom with people that might not like you and they might even hate you, and you might even be raped by some other people in there, some other perverts or some perverts, and they might rape you, they might kill you, they might beat you up, they might hurt you, and all because we don't want you to use the women's bathroom for stupid reasons that are complete horseshit. That hurts transgender women, but it's also a statement of a deep hatred of men in a very real way. But I won't go into that because that's not important here. But the point is, I support transgender rights. I support a lot of different rights, and I support people who are in prison for nonviolent crimes. I don't think they should be in there that long. And if you're against the industrial military, not the military, well, that too, but the prison industrial complex that has imprisoned so many black people, and that are also probably imprisoning a lot of people like me, and would imprison you, and is a criminal crime complex and a fuck fest of nonsense. The military industrial complex that is bombing and blowing up and destroying children and lives all over the world. That fucking Iraq war that I remember watching when we first invaded Baghdad when I was a kid, and watching for the same reason I watch the riots now, let's be honest, and that is because it is a bit of a freak show and a reality show, and as much as I shit on reality TV, let's be honest, it is. And that's the same reason we watch the riots. And again, I'm not saying that, I think violence is ever good, or that necessarily I'm glad any of that happened, because I'm absolutely not. But, let's be fucking honest. You like to tune in, don't you? Why do you think the news keeps playing it? Why do you keep watching? Even like if it's like that Jim Cornette, he was talking about Rush Limbaugh, that fat fuck. He was talking about him he was talking about him once. He said, I watch him, I tune in, to keep entertained. Something to do, keep mad. Well, even if you're watching it to be mad, you're still watching it. So, but the riots don't make me mad, just so you know. I mean, the riots, I'm glad to see poor people finally stand up for themselves. And I'll go into that in a minute. But there are some right-wing things, not many, I might be able to agree with you on, and I think is a kind of commonality between a lot of people like me. One is, I think, on a right wing level. Let's see. This is not a right wing thing, and that's the point I'm making. Circumcision. Right wing does not care about that, and there's a very real reason for that. The same reason they don't really care about fetuses or embryos, baby. They don't care about abortion, really. They care about their right to control you. They want to control women, and they want to control you, whether you're a man or woman. They like to control people. They don't give a flying flaming rat fuck about the baby. That's why they cut food stamps. They don't care about feeding your baby. They don't care about that baby or his situation in life or his life. They don't mind drafting him when he's 18 to go be blown up in a war. They don't care about your baby. But that is not necessarily a left-wing issue either, and I understand there are a lot of liberals who are not against circumcision. I think the majority of them are plastic, maybe not all of them, but I think they're plastic progressives and plastic liberals. But it is not necessarily a left-wing issue. Certainly not a mainstream left-wing issue. But let me tell you this: it is not a right-wing issue. A lot of these stupid, even the stupid men's rights assholes, they don't give a fuck about babies. Let me tell you. So circumcision is not a right-wing issue. But anyways, moving forward, that's not the issue. And we need to take that issue and somehow tag it onto the rest of what we believe and make it a left-wing issue. And I think that can very easily probably be done. And I think it's even being done. And a lot of things are being done that people don't know about. And it needs to be done. It should have been done 100 goddamn years ago. And it's wrong and it's fucked up and it has to get done one way or the other. And goddamn it will. And if you don't like that, hey, if you want to do some cutting, never mind. Moving forward. Men's issues, men's rights issues. Obviously, I saw a commercial today for ladies deodorant. Probably the most crude thing in that is, let's talk about your pits. Armpits, Okay, well, that's cute. Outside of that, very respectful. This is our product. This is what it can do for you. Why don't you buy this if you're a girl? You want to. This is deodorant. Women's deodorant is very good product. And so forth. And I think it was vegetarian. And I don't even know why you sell deodorant for men and women. It's a fucking deodorant. If you're a man and it's a woman's deodorant, just buy this stupid fucking woman's deodorant. What the hell is the difference? Like, I used to use women's deodorant all the time. I remember my mother had a peach deodorant I used to use. I don't see anything wrong with that. Why do you need two separate freaking deodorants? That isn't. But anyways, when they sell a man's deodorant or a man's anything, it's always, you're an idiot, you're stupid, we're going to make fun of you. Here's you getting kicked in the nuts. Here's why you suck. Here's everything that's wrong with you. Now buy our stupid fucking product or you suck, although you're going to suck pretty much anyway. And that's how they sell a product to their target audience. That's an example of something bad about men, and that is an issue men have to have, and that's a bit of a right-wing issue. As far as white people go, I'm not saying this to be the class A, rather, Democratic lemming, because honestly, if there was something, I would tell you. But when I think about white people's problems, I can't think of any problem we don't have that black people don't have, or I can't think of anything specifically bad in society that they do to white people, but not black people. I really can't think of anything that is a norm, that is commonplace. I can't think of anything. Now, I'm sure it's out there, but I just can't think of it other than them getting on the news and trying to make people, and I'm about to get into that, make them think that white people are bad and that men are bad, obviously. But I think even that is largely to take black people's attention off of how the rich people are fucking up with black people. So they just blame it all on white people. Look at those white people. So they almost act like you have money or something, even if you don't. I mean, there's a lot of that goes on. The other issue that I'm about to get into is guns. I'm not anti-gun, but if you've watched the news recently, you'll see why I don't think guns do any damn good. They're not worth a fuck, and I don't even care about them anymore. But as far as guns go, I think that I think it's an issue of a person's choice and preference. I don't think gun laws need to be made. I don't think it would do any good. But you're about to see the best possible argument for gun violence, and I'm about to go into that. But I think, or the gun control rather, I think you're about to see the best argument for gun control, and I'm about to go into that. But let me just say, shit, let me think about how to say it. I don't care about guns anymore, and I think you've given me pretty good reason, a good leverage not to care about your gun rights as I used to. Although I would never support that, I don't really care. There was a guy, and I think there's a lot more to this than what we know about, and I'm going to go into this. And part of this, let me just say, I don't care how young the guy was. I know he's a 17-year-old. I know people are stupid at that age. Hell, I'm pretty much an eternal 17-year-old, but that's not the point. With that being said, people don't think, people don't make the best judgment. I don't know anything about this guy. I don't know anything about his life. And I know what it's like to be judged when you're a very young person, because I was. And a lot of people have said a lot of really bad things about me in my life that have really shaped who I am and forever will be for the rest of my life. But in any event, this guy is still a fucking asshole and a fucking idiot. And I just want you to know you have made your generation of people look bad, and it's very unfair, in my opinion, to do that, because a lot of those people, including the white kids, are out in these riots, these protests, white males and females who have contributed to the protest and the struggle against police violence against black people, and police violence against other people. And many of these fucking people are very young, early 20s, mid 20s, early 20s, primarily late teens, mid teens, even young people, poor people, Generation Doom, 95 and over, not boomers. A boomer is a person my age in their late 20s and all the way up until, I don't know, like 60s, 70s, whenever. That's a baby boomer, by my definition, not the older definition. A doomer is 95 and over. I think they have been very contributive and conducive to positive change in this country, and I'm not dissing them. The point that I'm going to make here is fuck all that. This guy is a idiot running around with a gun in a fucking city during a riot. Now, I challenge you to this, and what's his name? Trevor Noah, who, if you want to know my true opinion, he's basically the right side of the of Tucker Carlson. You think of a penny, the flip side of that one, same fucking thing. Carlson defends him, Noah condemns him, but the way they do it is very important here. Very important, because it's dividing up two sides of the same people. Because you have white people out here in these protests, and you have black people out here in these protests, don't you? Okay. Now, what did they want to happen? The white people would all get mad at the black people. That didn't happen. A lot of the white people agreed with the black people. They don't like the cops out there. They don't think cops should be able to chug people to death. They went and they helped and protest with the black people. We can't have that. So what do? I don't know. You tell me. I tell you what. If you're a white person here, you answer your question. Take a gun, not a small one. Take a rifle, this if you want, because you say a white person can do this. Walk down the street and see if you are not stopped within 15 minutes by a policeman, probably shot by one. And if not them, someone else. And that's not even during a fucking riot. So you're telling me in a riot where a lot of the rioters are white people, and they are white rioters, and they are out there rioting too, policemen saw a guy running around with a loaded gun, not knowing who he was going to shoot, and didn't shoot him. And Trevor Noah wants to just casually brush that off as white privilege. I don't care how big of a privilege. Here's the deal. I don't care how big of a privilege and believer in white privilege you are. You can believe in white privilege. You can believe white people have all the privilege. Us honkies, we got it made. You put on a fucking gun and run around at a damn riot, they're gonna kill you. And of course, Tucker Carlson has money. Trevor Noah has money. Noticing a pattern here, and now he has an afro all at once. Funny. Didn't for years, wore suits, short hair. All of a sudden, and they're both just happening to argue absurd arguments at the exact same time about the exact same thing, that would disrupt the exact same people. So if you want to break up riots, how do you break up the riots? Well, they have a huge backlash now because all these white people didn't get mad at the blacks. You played the hell out of these riots. You kept them going. You kept talking about them. So there's riots. Well, now how the hell do we end these riots? Gee, I know. Let's fucking. I'm not saying anything. I don't know what happened. Do you think maybe it's possible that if I was a policeman and I was in a riot and I saw a guy running around with a rifle, I strapped to his back, I don't know, shoot him? I probably wouldn't be just standing there whistling Dixie while the fucker goes around on a rampage. And I don't even think they got him yet. I thought some of the protesters tackled him and killed him. I don't even think that happened. I think that isn't he still out there? Well, gee, here's a thought. Maybe you should. I don't know. He's a guy. He went to a riot, shot a bunch of fucking people, and now he's on the run. Gee, maybe he's dangerous. Possible. Maybe you should. I don't know. Catch him. No, you're not going to catch him. There's something that's going on here we don't know about, and I don't understand unless they were told to stand down, because you can tell cops to stand down. Why didn't they kill him? Why didn't cops shoot him? How did he get out of there? How did the protesters not kill him? Unless somebody was taking him to and from the riot. You explain that to me. But I'm sure it's nothing. I'm sure it's America's in control again. Your government is control America. You're okay to go. But I'm just telling you my beliefs. And all this male white bullshit that can wait 1,000 years if it has to. The important thing right now is you're fucking broke, poor, and you're only going to get poorer, and you need to take care of your shit. And the way to do that is to vote Democrat. Even if it's for fucking Biden this time, that's the thing to go, and that's the way to go. You have to vote for Biden. You're poor. I don't care if you're white. I don't care if you're a guy. It's not about what gender you are, what race you have. They're against you too. And you're going to be working in really shitty jobs, digging up clean coal, man. You're going to be in the coal mines with the rest of them. And you have no respect for the labor unions, for the protesters, for the fucking people that came before you, and the poor people, and the people that don't have fucking statues built about them. And I could probably make this video 1,000 times better than I did, but this is just what I want to say because it needs to be said. Plain, straightforward, right out there. Take care of your shit. You're not rich. Stop acting like you are. 8666.